Hello everyone, I'm Taylor Bampico. For today's video I'll be going over one of the first handguns I ever purchased, the Smith & Wesson M&P9 Pro Series. Now of course, before I go any further, I'll ensure this firearm is clear. We're good. Let's continue, shall we? Now when I say one of the first handguns I ever purchased, the first handgun I did ever buy was indeed the first gen Glock 17, which I don't have anymore. I then eventually came into possession of this one. Amazing thing too, the store I was working at the time, this belonged to a regular of ours, and this individual came in and traded it, and I was really debating about it. In fact, at the time I was looking at just a Gen 3 Glock 17. One of the men I worked with there, he and I were looking at this, and I asked him, how many rounds do you think have been through this gun? And we look at it and he goes, a box or two. So 100 rounds at most had gone through this gun. At the time, this particular firearm, brand new, was about $630. Of course, the advantage of working at a gun store is you do get an employee discount. I had won another gun through Ruger. In fact, I talked about that a little bit in the SR22 video. I'd won an LCP, which kind of wish I had kept, but instead I traded that towards this. So this gun, pretty much brand new. I traded that LCP towards this. In addition to my discount, I didn't even pay $200 for this gun. Honestly, great deal. In fact, this was the very firearm that led to me to always saying, oh, it's smooth shooting, because I was really impressed with how well this gun handled. I had shot Glock a couple times by that point. I didn't hate them, but it's like, I didn't feel it. This gun fit my hand perfectly. It was ideal for me. I shot it, or what I thought was a lot at the time. It really wasn't. I looked at my round counts. That is something I do with some firearms, as I keep a log of how many rounds go through them, just so I know, okay, how much have I been shooting. Certain firearms like 1911s, that's so I know when to change parts, because springs do wear out over time. You want to say, okay, this gun's got a couple of thousand rounds through it, this is time to change springs or whatnot. This gun, surprisingly, in of course 7.5 years, I have only put about 1,600 rounds through it. And yes, that's very low. But the reason is because I've come into possession of other firearms I've wanted throughout the time. I said, okay, I want this gun, I'll focus more on shooting that one. For instance, my CZ75, in only 5 years, this is also a very low round count, has only a little over 3,000 rounds. I wish it was twice as much as that, but as I said, there's other guns I want to shoot, so I don't just put it all towards one gun. Not that I couldn't, but it would get boring shooting the same gun over and over and over. For me, anyway. One neat thing about the Pro Series, this was before the 2.0 came out, long before actually. This gun came from the factory with night sights. It had a rougher texture grip to the back panel. In fact, these are interchangeable. There's a small, medium, and large. If I remember correctly, this is the medium on here. In fact, this was actually the gun I have Riley Kane in my novel Parabellum. This is the gun that she has at the end of that book, and she'll use on into the sequel, Latalis, which I'm working on. I know one of my subscribers is definitely going, when's that book getting done? I'm working on it. There's just a lot of things I've been doing right now. Anyway, back to the video. I noticed when comparing this to the 2.0, there's a lot of things from the Pro Series which went on to be included with the 2.0s. The grip texture is a little bit rougher on the 2.0 if I remember correctly. This was just right. It was definitely not as smooth as on the first generation pistols like this. One thing I liked about the first generations, there was only 3 sizes. There's the full size, there's the compact, and the shield. Now, I forget how many Smith & Wesson did. I forget how many Smith & Wesson have done. I don't know why it came out like that. I say this about a lot of my firearms. I really like it, but of course, if I don't like a firearm, I usually don't hold on to it. That's a story I should tell you about how I got my 686. That'll be another video. I don't know if I'll ever buy another M&P, of course, after watching the freezing test by Garand Thumb. Honestly, the look on his face when the M&P worked, I had the same expression. I was surprised. I thought the Glock would have done much better. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump back to using this pistol, but the memes were great. I really don't have anything bad to say about this firearm. There are some complaints people don't like to where you have to pull the trigger to actually get the slide off. It doesn't really matter to me. There is a way to go around that. You drop the magazine, rack the slide back. There's a lever inside the frame you push down. That way you can just pull the slide back and it'll come off. Honestly, I don't mind pulling the trigger. I know the gun's clear when I go to take it apart, so that's not an issue for me. I definitely should go back and shoot it again. It really is a fun gun, and I gotta boost those numbers. 1,500 rounds in 7.5 years? Come on, I should have done that in the first year. But it is what it is. Of course, this video really wouldn't be complete without me shooting it, so let's take a look, shall we? As I said, I have nothing bad to say about this firearm. The Garantham video was very interesting. I was just as surprised as he was at how it panned out regarding this versus the Glock pistol. Would I buy an M&P again? Probably not. They're just other guns I prefer more. I won't be partying with it, that's for sure. If you have an M&P, honestly, stick with it. Would I choose this over a Glock? Probably not. Would I say it's not as good as a Glock? No, I'd say they're on par. It really just boils down to personal preference. Well, anyway, that was just another rant video on the M&P9 Pro Series. I've been doing a lot of rant videos lately. If you enjoyed it, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell icon to notify when I upload new content. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and have a good day. See ya!